Hello and welcome for this third official race for this Grand Prix in France 2017. We are in Benoît, just south of Paris, and the race is started already, but we'll focus on that later. At first, we will just share with you the highlights of the race 2, was on Monday now, and so I think we will enjoy this. So let's go for highlights of race 2.
The first Grand Prix, and the main difference is it's not me who take the decision to start, so it's really nice, in fact, and we are all together in the same weather and the same time, so it's really nice. It's a little bit like the same for the sailboat and the Formula One. It's a kind of competition I like.
For me, the difficulty was the weather, and also to see other glider go far away from me, and I was alone, so it was not easy. I'm not enough used to put water in the wing, so that's why I'm landing in fields.
It's a type of race that I didn't know right now, so it's gliding, it's soaring, but it's a different concept, and it's very fun. Like I said, to win a Grand Prix, I think you need maybe more engagement from self-confidence too, because you have to take decision, I think, a little bit more quickly than in a classical championship, but you have to be very careful about the weather, about the condition, because like today it's changing very quick.
And we are back after these highlights from race 2. It was a tricky race on Monday, but it was quite okay because we were just before the front, the stormy front we had on for 2 days, on Tuesday and yesterday and Wednesday. So for today it's still a bit wet, but we have what we call a window, so we can use between two fronts, cold fronts, we can use some time to make a race. And we have made a short interview of Philippe de Pesci. I'm sorry, it's in French, so it will be mainly for our French followers. But he will explain a bit about the weather of today and what is his main task on the morning, the routine he used to prepare everything for the race. So let's go for this interview.
La météo aujourd'hui, elle va avoir de particulier qu'on a eu beaucoup d'eau qui est tombée ces dernières 24 heures. Donc les sols vont être gorgés d'eau. Tout ça lié à une masse d'air aussi qui risque d'être assez instable. Ça risque de faire des développements ou des altitudes qui vont pas forcément être faciles à exploiter. Donc ça va se jouer à quelques degrés de température et à des zones peut-être un petit peu plus sèches que d'autres. Le vent risque d'être assez fort également. Alors le vent en plaine, comme c'est le cas à Buno, sur un sol qui est plat, c'est pas un allié. C'est-à-dire qu'effectivement il va pouvoir nous pousser dans une certaine direction, mais pour revenir au terrain, il va nous opposer. Donc ça va être plus dur. On peut se servir du vent en montagne, mais pas vraiment en plaine. Donc le vent, pour pouvoir en tirer quelque chose de bénéfique, on va pouvoir essayer peut-être de prendre des cheminements qui vont être alignés dans le sens du vent. Mais le vent, globalement, voilà, moins il y en a, mieux on se porte en plaine. Sinon, c'est une difficulté en plus. Ça peut aussi avoir un phénomène de casser les ascendances. Voilà, les colonnes d'air chaud qui vont monter avec un vent un peu soutenu, ça va casser, ça va devenir des bulles, ça va faire des ascendances difficiles à prendre. Ça risque d'être une course courte, je pense qu'elle va faire à peu près 100 km le minimum. Donc 100 km, ça peut être 1 heure comme ça peut être 3 heures. Donc ça peut être très rapide en 2 pompes, en 2 ascendances avec des planeurs très, très performants, comme une lutte pour rester en l'air très longtemps pour pouvoir boucler le circuit. Donc ça va vraiment dépendre de ce qu'on va observer en l'air, c'est très difficile à prévoir. J'ai pas été très brillant sur les 2 premières épreuves, donc forcément j'ai très envie de voler et puis d'essayer de marquer le coup. Maintenant on va voir, la météo elle va être la même pour tout le monde, et l'avantage des Grands Prix également, c'est que tout le monde va partir en même temps, comme c'est vraiment une course et non pas un contre-la-montre comme dans les épreuves classiques. Tout le monde va avoir les mêmes conditions, va partir au même moment, à la même altitude, donc ça va être vraiment intéressant.
And we are back. So this was Philippe de Péchy, French pilot. We know really well because he's normally one of organizer of Grand Prix of France in Rennes Saint-Sulpice, his club. So yes, as you have seen on this video and interview, it was the sky was not really blue behind Philippe de Péchy. And it's still like this a bit. It's really wet, but the pilots, they are okay because they have a little bit more than 1,000 meters above mean sea level as altitude, so they can fly and glide enough to make a race. So I opened the start gate a few minutes ago, but we will go first to a small introduction about what is the race of today. On the screen, you can see the typical triangle we designed in the morning to make a race. And first we will go to Buno as start gate and start line. You can see now. So we are just above the airfield of Buno. And the first turn point is Dordiv. It's a bit southeast of Buno airfield for around 35 kilometers. So first turn point, this is on a river, so it can be a bit tricky because there is a lot of moisture, as we explained the day on the day before. And then we are going to Moray airfield, so it's gliding airfield. So if you have any problems, they can land, and then they are heading back towards Buno airfield. So west. It's a bit, as you can see on the screen, it's a bit just south of the big forest of Fontainebleau, and then they are on the airfield of Buno for a control point, a checkpoint, and then they are making the small triangle with Milly-la-Forêt first on the top of the screen, a report point, and then Vaudouet report on the right of the screen, and then back to Buno airfield for the finish line. So this makes just 101 kilometer length race. So it's quite tiny on today's standards for a race of gliding. But the weather is not so good, so I had to design a bit shorter legs and to avoid the next front with rain, which is coming at around 4 o'clock this afternoon. So just in 3 hours. So now let's go for a bit of presentation of the pilots. On the bottom of the screen, you have a first 2 pilots of our ranking. So on the left is Christophe Abadi from Buno, He's flying here for Ile-de-France sponsor, and he has 20 points. So he won the first and second race. So he's really, really, really hot now. And we expect him to perhaps win this Grand Prix. Second is Didier House, his sponsorship from Helix Nav, and he's a former world champion in Grand Prix race. So yeah, we expected also to see Didier on the second place. On the third place, we will see Mr. Lucas Delobel. You can see him now on the bottom left of the screen. So Lucas is a young pilot from the French team. He will be. We expect him to be the next champion in the following years in a world championship, and he is making third, sponsored by Clubhouse. And yeah, he's really happy to be there. He had just a small problem just before the opening of the gate today. He had to reland, but then the second towings was okay, and he made a pretty good start, I believe. On the fourth position, you have Mr. Dan Sproit. So he's Belgian pilot, and we talked a bit about Dan with Brian Sprakeley, if you remember, 3 days ago. We were expecting that Dan would be on the top of the pilots because he's coming from Belgium, which is a bit like here as a type of weather and conditions. So he's quite used to use these conditions, and he's also selectioned for the next European Championship in UK, in Lasham. So it was expected also to see Dan here. And then we will go to Mrs. Aude Grangeret. Aude is fifth on our ranking for this Grand Prix. And yes, it was expected and unexpected to see her there because she's current world champion in Women's Championship. So she's a really, really good pilot, competitive. And but it's the first time she's making Grand Prix, and as she says a lot of time here, she doesn't like to push on the stick. When we push on the stick, it means we fly really hard and really, really fast. But perhaps she's becoming more and more every day better pilot when pushing on the stick. So we will see tonight if she has made also a good result on today. So then I will have to use a trick for today because we have some problem with a 3D system. So expect some weird things. Okay, we are in 2D, and this is the system we will keep going for today. I'm sorry for that. It's still enjoyable, and I hope you will enjoy also my commentary. So you can see on the screen is exactly the same race task. Which was designed on the 3D system, but it's in 2D. And what you see as a long colored things, it's the trace. So the former trace, the past trace of all the pilots. And you still see all the information about the pilots on the right of the screen. You can see my mouse is moving there. And all the information, interesting information, as you can see from the beginning of this Grand Prix, is the altitude. We are always saying that altitude is the tank of the pilots, of the glider, sailplanes. They use altitude to make distance, so they need altitude to gain altitude, to fill the tank. What we can say, it's filling the tank, not with gasoline or something like this. No, it's just altitude. This is the energy of a sailplane. So we will stay with this information on the right of the screen all day long. And as you can see, for now, they have made the start, which is on the left of the screen. So it was 25 minutes ago around. And then they have also made the first turn points, d'Ordive on the south. So it's on the bottom of the screen. And they are heading and some of them are already on the third turn point. So I was not expecting to have them so fast. But as you can see on the right of the screen, the altitude is still 1,000 meters. They have a bit of wind coming from the west, so from the left of the screen. So they will be a bit against the wind. So it will be a bit less fast from now to come back to Buno, and then to make the small task around Buno. But they have made a pretty good job for now. We just have some information, I believe, from, I will click on Fox Bravo. You have all of the information about Fox Bravo. Fox Bravo is Mr. Lucas Delabel, sorry. So if we can see the bad information, bad news about Fox Bravo is the altitude. I don't know if it's in full time now, but he seems to be landed on the airfield and back on the airfield. So perhaps he has cancelled the race. But then all the other gliders, all the other pilots, they are quite happy, and we just see that Didier. I put the mouse on Didier. So Didier House, one of the leader of the overall ranking, is coming back. He's already back towards Buno. And then there is Charlie Tango, which is Philippe Depechy. You had the interview just a few minutes ago, and he's also heading back to Buno. And then there is Echo Lima, which is Jacques Paluot from Brittany. And Mike 1, which is Guillaume Girard from Bayo, is also in the French team. So he had two first bad days, Guillaume. The first one was really bad, and the second he made 2 points, I believe, if I remember well. But he's really competitive, and he's mainly here for training because he wants to prepare the European Championship in the following weeks. So they are here. We are looking for, Tulima. So this is I will click on Tulima. He's on the second leg from Dordif to Moray. So this is the leg on the right of the screen. And Tulima is the current leader of the Grand Prix. Mr. Abadi, Christophe, he's from Buno, and he's not on the lead for now. He will be perhaps not on the points. I can explain a bit the points we are making. It's really like Formula 1 points. So the first who cross the finish line will have 10 points, and then the second 8 points, and so on. But for now, Tulima is really on the back of a race with Didier first, Chai Tango second, Mike 1 and Echo Lima third and fourth. Lima Yankee, Mr. Kai Lindenberg from Germany, would be fifth. And then we have Tango India Fox, Mrs. Grangeret, who can be 7th or 8th. She's with another pilot, Charlie Hotel, which is Mr. Sturm from France. And then is Tulima. But the race is not finished, not at all, because the big problem is the altitude on the right of the screen. You can see that they don't reach 1,000 meters. They are just short of 900, 1,000, a bit less, sometimes 800 and something. So it's a difficult day. It's a really difficult day. And now I will focus a bit on a trace of Chai Tango and DID, so Didier and Philippe, because you can see the current effect of the wind. For now, they are what we call thermaling in English. It's just they are circling in a big bubble, warm air, which gives them some energy. And the effect of the wind is they are drifting a bit back towards the east, and they want to go west. So this is a difficult day, and we will keep going with all the pilots to see what's going on. Interesting thing is the people, the two pilots you can see on the right of the screen. It's Fox Sierra and the Blue Six. So Fox Sierra is Dan Sproit from Belgium. So the current 4th on the overall ranking of the Grand Prix, and he's quite low. I will click on it, and you can see the altitude is there. So altitude is 485. So this is quite low. And I believe they have made a decision to go a bit on the eastern part of the race, because the sun is a bit better on the eastern part. on the morning here in Buno, we had with some quite sunny conditions, and then at 12:00 it was still okay. But then when I had to open the race at 12:40, it was less and less good with less sun on the ground. So perhaps these conditions, as the general flow of the weather for today is from the west to the east, so perhaps these conditions with more sun are still there on the eastern part of the race, but it seems to be not really effective, and they have perhaps made a bad decision. Zulu 6, the pilot who is with Fox Sierra is Michael Charuel. He's from Angers, so he's a Frenchman. I think it's his second Grand Prix, or first perhaps, but he's a bit higher than Fox Sierra, but yeah, perhaps it was not a good decision to follow Fox Sierra for today. Then okay, they are heading back to Moray, the second turn points, and Moray is a gliding airfield, so if you want to land, there is no problem. Okay, some information from Tulima now, because you all want to know if he will perhaps be back on the leading of the race. For now, it's quite difficult. I think he's managing to be as high as possible, so at 856 meters, and he's gaining a bit of altitude, so he's turning. He's not alone, so he's with a group. Tulima, Charlie Hotel, and Bravo Whiskey 3. So Tulima, Christophe Abadi, Charlie Hotel is Christoph Sturm, also Frenchman, and Bravo Whiskey 3 is the young pilot Tony Kittler from Germany. So they are all together. As we told 3 days ago with Brian Spreckley, when the weather conditions are a bit tricky, like today, so moist, low level, you don't fly high, it's much better to be with other pilots. So like a peloton or a group of pilots, you can help each other. It's much easier to find warm bubbles, thermals, and to exploit also these thermals. So I think Tulima is a bit on the conservative way for today, and because he wants to stick to the overall ranking and wants to have a ticket for the final of the Grand Prix in Chile. But he has to be careful because Didier House will focus on the lead of the race. Didier is 780 meters altitude, so it's just 600 and something above the ground, so it's enough for today, and he's trying to push, I think, and to take the lead for the overall. For now, he doesn't know about Tulima, about Christophe Abadi. He has no information inside the cockpit to tell him that Christophe is perhaps out of the points of today's race. But you don't think this way when you are in the Sailplane during the race. You want to do the best you can. So he's trying to make his best, Didier House, and for now it's really going okay for him. Charlie Tango, so Philippe Depechy you had for the interview is not anymore with Didier House. Perhaps it will be the breakthrough of this race, because Didier House is alone. So we will see if it works okay for him, or if he will be in some difficulties soon. So let's see that. Some news. I've seen that Fox Sierra Dan Sprout is quite low, and I'm not sure he's high enough to be on the field of Moray. I'm quite sure he's not, so we will just focus on him because I think he's landing. Yeah, he's landing out, I believe. As you can see on the screen, there are some big fields in this area, so I have no doubt that it will be okay for Dan. I'm just sorry for him if he has to land out. Yeah, the altitude is less and less, 205 meters, and the ground there is, I think, a bit higher from here in Buno. So, but yeah, we will see in a few minutes if it's okay. We have some nice small towns close to the airfield if he has to land, so it will be okay. He will not be alone for a long time. Okay, just a small focus on the weather today. Yeah, in the morning it was really, really nice to see some blue sky. You have to understand that we had to cancel day to cancel race because there was a lot of rain, tons of rain for sometimes here in Buno. But the good point is the air mass. The air mass is good because we are in close to summertime now. The sun is really high on the sky when it's 1 or 2 o'clock. So it's really, really hot on the ground. And even if we had a lot of rain on yesterday and the day before, it's quite fast here to recover for the ground because on the big forest you can see on the screen, so the big green, dark green thing, it's the forest of Fontainebleau. The Fontainebleau is here close to the top of the screen. These forests are full of granite rocks, and it makes a lot of sandy area, and the sand is really, really nice to absorb all the rain and to be really quick, super dry. And when it's dry, it's really hot with the sun. So it makes some really, really nice conditions here, even if it's quite difficult. Okay, some news. Foxera. Okay, Dan Sprite is climbing. So he was a few minutes ago at 200 meters above mean sea level, and now he's 290, still climbing. So you can imagine his face, smiling face in the cockpit, because he must be really, really happy to get back in the race, or to still be in the air. Just focus on Didier, because Didier is now really close to the last part of the race. I don't know his average speed for now, but you can see what we call ground speed on the top right of the screen. You have all the information about Didier house, and altitude is the main thing I'm talking about, but you can see also ground speed, G speed, 128 km/h. So ground speed is not the real speed of the sailplane, but it's the speed with a reference of the ground. So you have to imagine that in the air today we have what we call 15 knots of wind, so it's 25 km/h of wind. And for now, Didier is heading against the wind, so you have to add 128 km/h, the ground speed, with the speed of the wind. So he's flying 150, around 150. It's not super huge as a speed for modern sailplane, but it's bad weather, bad conditions, so they can't push a lot. You have to imagine it's exactly the same thing as we use in a car. If you want to drive fast, you have to use a lot of gasoline, of energy. So when it's not when it's bad weather, you can't drive fast. It's exactly the same way in sailplane racing. When it's good, you can fly really fast, above 200 km/h. But when it's bad, maximum is 150, 140, because you want to fly longer, you want to fly further, you don't want to consume all your energy and your altitude in just a few minutes. So you have to be a little bit conservative, sorry. So conservative means you need to climb, to find thermals every few minutes, and you can't fly fast. So now Didier is gaining altitude, is thermaling, and you can see on the right of the screen Lima Yankee, so Guy Lindenberg, who had no points for the first 2 races. He was a bit annoyed because he was supposed to be on the top of the rank for the overall ranking of his Grand Prix, but he's really happy to be here. I have to say that he's a really good guy, and he's enjoying Buno and all the thing you can do around Buno in Fontainebleau and Paris. So he's really, really nice, smiling, and he wants to show something today. So, but it's quite low. The altitude of Kai Lindenberg is 442 meters. So this is really low. I think it's just enough to come back to the field of Buno if he wants to land. So he's safe, no problem for that. But as a matter of race and win, so to take a chance to get some points, it will be difficult if he doesn't find any turmoil. Oh, he's starting to go left now, so perhaps he's finding something. Then it's Philippe de Péchy. Philippe de Péchy, as you can see, is really high. It's really different than the two others. So it's 849 meters. So he's ready on what we call conservative way for today, and I think it's one of a good way for today to fly. Good attitude. Philippe is really nice. He helped me a lot in the last years, and he still helped me during this Grand Prix with some tips, because he is used to organize Grand Prix in Rennes, in Brittany, and he will be the organizer for the next Grand Prix of France 2018 in Rennes. So you have to fly in Rennes, in Brittany. It's really beautiful, and you will have a really nice person as a director with Philippe de Péchy. Okay, and then it's Tiff Haute Grangeray. She's quite high, 600 and something, and then Mr. Guillaume Girard, Mike 1, 700. So they are together, Tiff and Mike 1, and they help, they cooperate. So it's good. And Ecolima, Mr. Jacques Paluot from Brittany, also French, and he's a bit lower, so he's looking for some energy, and I think he's finding some. Then we have Charlie Hotel, this is Mr. Christophe Sturm from France also, and Tulima. Hey, Christophe Abadi is close to the he's close to his group, but he's really low. 179 meters. You can see just on the top of the screen. 179. I think Christophe, he has an engine in his glider, in his sailplane, and perhaps he has used the engine. So the race is over if he has used the engine. So we will see that in a few minutes if he's heading back towards the airfield of Buno with no control points for the last part of the race. It means that he has not made it. This is big news for us, but we will see if all the other pilots can make the race. Yeah, you will have 0 points, and perhaps Didier 10 points, so it will put Didier in the lead. Okay, so let's go back to Didier. Problem is he's still quite low, 479, 508 meters exactly now. This means that even if he has lost some time on this part of the screen, on the center of the screen, circling, thermaling to find some energy, it was not really effective. So now he's making the control point on Buno Airfield, just the western part of Buno Airfield, on the track 10. And he will go now north, as you can see, to Milly-la-Forêt control point on the top of the screen. And I hope he will be able to make it. For now, he still needs energy. As usual, for the last part of a task, of a race, they need around 700 and something meters above mean sea level as energy to be able to make the last part of the race. But for now he's quite low, 433 meters, and he's sinking, so losing energy, and he needs more energy to make it. But it's still in the lead for quite a distance. So let's go back to Charlie Tango. I will call the group of Charlie Tango the chasing group. So Charlie Tango, Lima Yankee, Mike 1, and Tango India Fox. Charlie Tango is Philippe Depechy. Lima Yankee is Kai Lindenberg. Mike 1 is Mr. Guillaume Girard. And Tango India Fox is Aude Grangeret. So for Charlie Tango, he is really high, 1,000 meters. So he's still on the conservative style of flying, and I think he's really right to do this today. As you can see that Didier, DID on the left of the screen, is trying to thermaling to find some energy. So he's circling, but perhaps he has pushed a little bit too much at one time, just close to Buno airfield when he was going back to the airfield. And so we will see that in a few minutes. But Charlie Tango, Philippe Depechy perhaps has made a really good decision to be on the conservative way. On the right of the screen, on the right of Charlie Tango, you can see the effect of the wind another time with Lima Yankee, Tango India Fox and Mike 1. They are circling, thermaling, gaining altitude, and it's quite okay because they are above 900 meters and still climbing. But the wind is really sensible because you can see that they are drifting and drifting and drifting towards northeast. So this is a direct effect of the wind, and they are gaining altitude, okay, but they are also losing a bit of energy because the wind is pushing them back to the former turn point. So last turn point, and not towards the next turn point. And this is really difficult when you are in the cockpit. For all pilots, you know, these kinds of conditions, weather conditions, it's really difficult. And as psychology also, it's very difficult because you feel that you are losing time everywhere, but you have to accept this. So yeah. Charlie Tango made perhaps a good decision, and he did accept this kind of weather condition and losing time. So the DID, is really low now. DJ is just short of 400 meters, so it's 200 meters above the ground. So this is really low for now. So we will see in a few minutes if it's okay. But for now, he will not be able to finish the race. I just received some text from Dan Sproit, I believe. I will just check if Dan is still in the air. No, I believe he's landed. Yeah. I'm focusing on Moray airfield. So the second turn point they had. It's an airfield, and you can see that the Foxtrot, so Dan Sproit from Belgium, is landed there. So he's super safe, no problem. I think he will go back with an airplane. They will just help him to go in the air, and he will come back. So no worry, Dan is okay. And Zulu 6, so Michael Charuel, who was with Dan a few minutes ago, is still in the air, but he's really, he's annoyed, I think, because he's low also. Okay, let's focus on the leading race. Oh, DJ is still sinking, but he's on the control points of Mille-la-Forêt, but he's heading back. He tries to head back to Buno airfield, I believe. It is really low, 278 meters. It's just 120 meters above the ground. So he's trying to find a nice field and also to find perhaps some energy, but it will be really difficult. Charlie Tango, so Mr. Depechy, still high, 880 meters, and as you can see, all the chasing group, whom Philippe is the leader. So Charlie Tango, Lima Yankee, Mike 1, Tango India Fox, and Charlie Hotel. They are all heading the same way towards the southwest, and it's exactly the orientation of the wind today. The wind is coming from southwest, so they are trying to find some line of energy, because when you have some wind, you have some lines of energy like this. So I believe they do that, and also it's a good way to help each other. So they are trying to find together the good list. Okay, so I have some news from the competition direction. I'm the director, but I am also chief pilot and a field marshal. So it's Benoît Portanus from Buno. He's the chief pilot here, and he is telling me that Tulima is really outlanded. So Mr. Abadi, he has an engine, but I think he just perhaps tried to use it with some problems to start the engine, or perhaps he just told himself, okay, I forget it. I don't want to start the engine, and I will land safe in a field. So this is a tricky day because we just lost the leader of the overall ranking, Mr. Abadi. This is a great big news here. But he will still be on the top of the ranking, I believe, perhaps tonight, because he has already 20 points. So he's in the lead for 6 points in front of Didier House. Didier is super low, and I think he's landing out, yeah. It's a shame because he made the race for such a good way until the vicinity of Buno Airfield. So anyway, this is a gliding race. It's like this. So sometimes you're on the lead, but you push a little bit too much, and you have to land out. Okay, I'm just waiting for good news from Didier, and that's all. We have now Fox Bravo is still on the ground, but Charlie Tango is making the control points above Buno. 746 meters, so normally he has enough energy. I'm sorry, I'm just getting some news from several pilots. They are texting me. So I have some news from Cécile Bonnet, also the local pilots, and she's landed out with Christophe Abadi, and she tells me that she's okay on the text. Dan Sprout, yeah, I confirm that he's landed out in Moray Airfield, and he's okay, no problem. And Christophe, he just sent me, oh yeah, he sent me a picture of his computer about the sailplane, and the computer just tells that the current altitude is 0 meter above the ground. So it's just a fun thing they do with me sometimes. They send me that, oh, this is a picture, and just guess what is going on, and the guess is, oh yeah, okay, you're outlanded in the field. It's quite rare for Christophe Abadi to land in a field because he normally uses his engine, but we will see tonight. We will interview him to have more information and why he wasn't able to start the engine. So Didier is landed out. Yeah. You can see that he's 127 meters. So it's basically the altitude of the ground. So perhaps a bit too aggressive. But we will see if he will be on the podium, still on the overall ranking podium of the day. Charlie Tango, Philippe de Pesci is heading to the control point, Mille Lafort in the north. You can see the speed, 143 km per hour, 130, 128. Put it in blue now. This is not fast. You need to imagine that there is 20 km of wind, backwind. So the ground speed is 133, so he must fly just 110 km per hour. This is really the maximum performance speed of his sailplane. So normally he can make around 45 kilometers of distance when he has 1,000 meters of altitude of energy. So he's really flying low speed. But perhaps he knows also that Didier House was outlanded. Oh, just a call from Didier, so I have to answer his call just to have some good news, and I go back to you in a few seconds. Oui, Didier. With Didier, and he just tell me that he's safe, just close to the B&B he's using, so he's okay, and everything is okay. So no worry, and he will be there in a few minutes. So see you, Didier. Yeah. Yes. Your crew is already on the road. Yes. Thank you. So yeah, Didier, who was on the lead of a race a few minutes ago, is now outlanded. And Charlie Tango, Philippe Depechy is just flying above Didier in a few seconds. And normally he has enough altitude, so he's a bit short of 600 meters. So it's 450 meters above the ground, and he has around 10 kilometers to make. So normally it will be okay. And let's focus on the chasing group. We know Philippe Depechy is really far away from the chasing group. It's around 10 kilometers between him and the chasing group. And we have Tango India Fox, so Haute Grangeray, and Mike 1, Mr. Guillaume Girard. They know each other quite well because they are all together in the French team, Aude and Guillaume, and they flew last year in Czech Republic in a training camp competition, national competition in Czech Republic, and they did some pretty good jobs. So they know each other and they know how to fly together and to cooperate. So I think they made a good job together today, because it was a tricky day with wind, low altitude, and you can see the result of this cooperation. It's really one part of our sport, sailplane sport. We cooperate. Okay, you want to win, but sometimes to win you have to work together with other sailplane. So that's okay for now. And we have Lima Yankee, so I will just click on Lima Yankee and we will see. Okay, altitude is okay also for Lima Yankee, I believe, to make a finish of a race, 688 meters. It will be a bit more tricky than for Tiff and Mike 1. Mike 1 is 600 something. It will be okay, I believe. And Tango India Fox, 784. Yes, she has a lot of energy. Aude Grangeray is really known to be at the good moment as high as possible. So as usual, but it's a really good thing from a pilot, and especially from Aude. She's high, and she's right to be high. Okay, we will follow Charlie Tango, Philippe Depechy, because now he has made the control points on the east, and he's 388 meters, so it's 260 meters exactly above the altitude of the elevation of the airfield of Buno, and he just has to make 4 kilometers. So now it will be okay, no problem. Well done, Philippe. I'm really happy to see Philippe winning this race, and he has made it in a nice way. So bravo, congratulations. Okay, the big blue circle you can see on the screen is not the finish line. Finish line is really on the airfield of Buno. So is just above Toussaint, small town of Toussaint, east of Buno, and is flying toward the finish line, which is around here. I don't know if you can see the mouse is moving, but yes, the finish line is there. And then you will land, so no problem. Bravo Whiskey 3, Tony Kittler from Germany is above the airfield and he's heading to the control points. You can see on the west here. And then he will have to finish, and I think he will have enough altitude. 744 is normally enough. Charlie Hotel, Mr. Christophe Sturm, French guy, is really high also. 1,000 meters, a bit above 1,000 meters. So normally you will just have to go to the control points, and he has enough energy to come back. So I'm really happy as the director of the contest, because I was not really sure that they were able to make the race today, but it's good. So let's go back to Philippe Depechy. He has made a low pass and he's turning right to land. So congratulations, Philippe. Well done. You will have normally, I believe, 10 points. And we go back to Haute Grangeray, Tango India Fox, on the right of the screen. She's just passing through the last checkpoint. And as she's quite high, you can see she's still at 400 and something. 350 meters. She's pushing a lot. You have to imagine that we can transform the altitude, the energy, in speed. So if you have too much altitude, too much energy in the tank, you just have to push on the stick, and you consume it much faster, and you fly faster. So she's really flying very fast, 220 kilometers per hour. This is really, really fast. And I believe I can also imagine smiling face of Aude in the cockpit, because she will get a lot of points today. Another time, she made points on first day, she made points on second day, and she will make points another time on third race. So yes, congratulations, Mrs. Grangeret. Then we have Lima Yankee and Mike 1. Lima Yankee is just 300 meters, so it should be okay, but you can see the speed is much less than Aude Grangeret, we're just 156 kilometers per hour. And Mike 1 is a bit low, 278. I think it will be okay. He will make it, but he can't push on the stick. He can't consume the altitude and the energy he has. So it's quite difficult, but I believe he will make it. So for a recall, we have Philippe de Péchy, who won the race today from Brittany. So Philippe is sponsored by LXNav. By Orange. And then we will have Tango India Fox, so Mrs. Aude Grangeret, who is flying Interflora. And then perhaps we will have Lima Yankee from Germany, Kai Lindenberg, with aviation design. And then Mike 1, Mr. Guillaume Girard, with flying Renault. Charlie Hotel, Mr. Sturm from France also is heading now to a second to last checkpoint on the north to Milly-la-Forêt. Bravo SQ3, I don't know why he has made such a trace, because he was heading really west from the last turn points. But anyway, perhaps he has found some line of energy. Okay, and that's all. We will see in a few minutes if the other pilots they are coming back. But the big news is to Lima. So Christophe Abadi, who is flying Ile-de-France, he has landed out. So tonight he will have no points at all for the daily race. The big news also are you have to be sure that all the pilots are okay and landed safe, and it's the case. No problem at all. There is no drama for today. So Tulima landed out 6. Mrs. Bonnet has landed out, and they are all together in the same field, and they are okay. Zulu 6 finally landed out, I believe. Yes. Zulu 6 and Fox Sierra. So Zulu 6 is Michael Charuel and Mr. Dan Sprout. So Michael French, who is sponsored by Willy Lunette, and Dan, who is flying Fox Sierra. And they have landed out also. So no drama at all. And DID, Mr. Didier House, I'm sorry for him, has landed out also. He was on the lead for 1 hour, but finally he lost all points on the last 12 kilometers of the race. So for me, it's finished for today. Thank you all for following us, because I think it's quite exciting to follow the race and to have some more information about what they are doing in the air. We will see you tomorrow with the highlights of the race and also the overall ranking of the Grand Prix, and perhaps a valid day also tomorrow. We will see that tonight and tomorrow morning. So thank you, and see you tomorrow.